So today I'm coming on here and I'm making this first video as who I am. You guys getting to actually know me. My name's Adam Kessler. I'm 21 years old, and about 3 years ago, I was spiritually awakened to a new life for me, a new beginning, right? It all started when, just about when I graduated high school. I was hanging out with my small crowd of friends, and graduating high school, you're like, it's truly that new beginning of your life. You're kind of have your small town of friends or your small friends that you graduated with, but then there's a lot of the rest of the people you graduated with just go their own way. You don't really interact or talk to them anymore. So I had a few friends that I was always hanging out with, and to mention, my senior year, I was kind of on the actually edge of almost failing. So I was getting into stupid and bad influenced habits as I was in about my 12th grade year. I started actually working, a real job. I was at actually a Texas Roadhouse as a busboy, and I had a few of my friends working with me. And I had a few friends that I was working with that we would hang outside of work, and this is when I was opened and experienced to marijuana. So it came to that time in my life where this substance and this drug was experienced in my life, introduced to my life. It kind of led me down a not so good of a path, more, the bad influenced path that I didn't want to go. But in the sense of, I didn't know that this path that I was going down was the path that I was gonna be changed to a new life, to change to a better, positive life. But as I was not only influenced by the weed, I also was led to a psychedelic called mushrooms. And it was a time when me and those, old friends I was hanging out with, just randomly one day wanted to try something new. And that new thing was shrooms or mushrooms. And let me tell you that it was definitely a crazy awakening experience, because after it was done, I truly believe to this day, and I started thinking about this actually not too long ago, that was the thing that started it all, that opened me to this new conscious life that I live now, opened me to the truth. But it was an experience that I wouldn't go back to, obviously, because that isn't me anymore. But it was an experience that I went into with a peaceful state, prepared. And not saying that that is something that anyone should be influenced to do, but is one heck of a wild trip / experience for someone to do. But it's not something you're needing to do for any type of reason at all. Because it is still a substance, it is still a psychedelic drug. Whether it is natural or not, it is just not something that someone needs to experience to live a life of positivity, a life full of purpose, and, driven a good life. At this time in my life, I was, hanging out with the friends I was hanging out with. we weren't really, our life wasn't exciting, of course. You're just getting out of high school. I was still working. I was trying to find what I wanted to do after school. And I had what I would call, or what is called, a spiritual awakening. So when this happened, I basically was recreated. My old self of my ideas, my thoughts, my mind was basically destroyed, and I was rewired. So it came to a point where, as this was happening, a lot of my old friends didn't recognize me. I'm saying this as they didn't recognize me, meaning, for instance, my thinking was so consciously aware and different as it was changing, because I was becoming a more open-minded person and a more consciously shifted person, that they thought I was literally crazy. So them thinking I was crazy led me to basically isolating myself from them for a good while, I'd say about 8 months to a year, a little bit over a year it was. I literally isolated myself from a lot of people. I mean, not much of my family, but it was like, it put me in such a hole that I was like so completely lost. I didn't know where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, what this life even was at that point. And it was not that I was, harshly like suicidal or anything in that any type of way, but just completely darkness, lost, in a tunnel that I couldn't see the light of. But I was so lost in my rebuilding stages of myself that I was literally losing jobs that I had been at because I couldn't take this building phase that I was in and get comfortable within it yet. It was still so just attached to this world that it was a bad distraction for me, a bad distraction for my spirit, my mind, and just me overall, that I couldn't focus on who I actually needed to be, who I wanted to be. What was this life to me, But now it's taken those few years that it's needed to take it for me to realize, okay, that was the beginning phase, that was the phase of, giving it the patience and the time needed to figure out who I am, and truly that is the truth. And now it's just, now that I figured out who I am, who my spirit is, who God wants me to be, I can now help other people even figure out the same as well. While I am building the best version of myself, achieving my fullest potential through God, with God every day, that it's the best life and the biggest blessing that I could ask for. And it led me to a point where it was for the better. So basically, I was such in the dark at that time and at that moment in my life that I found the light. I was literally, as they say, you're at rock bottom. But God was my rock. It took me a while to waken up and realize that was the truth that I was looking for but didn't know. So God put me through a rough awakening, but it was what He knew I needed to become this person I am today. It's been, about almost 3 years now since I graduated high school, and I've met, a bunch of blessed people that he's put in my life, but I've also been through the ups and downs, like literally hell to get to where I am. My mind being completely rewired, my body having to be completely built back in the gym and, working on my health again, and just everything, my spirit, the people around me, the love that's actually around me and meant for me has been completely changed and new beginnings for me, for all those aspects of my life. But it's been the biggest blessing that I could ever ask for, because he will put you through hell to basically put you through hell in that dark you're in your life to experience the light. And it's been a complete blessing for me. But I just want to say that that's who I am today, and that's who we're being created into. And it's, this is my first ever video coming out and, saying this, but it's going to be a great journey that you guys are joining me on. So I just want to say thank you, love you all, God bless, have a good one.